All right, so on another video, I explain why this all works. For today, we're gonna do the short and sweet version. So when you have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, there's something to keep in mind. 30 degrees is the smallest angle, so across from it is gonna be the smallest side. They call this the short leg because it's the leg that's shorter. I know, very creative. The other leg they call the long leg, and it is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3. So if you know the short leg here, you're going to slap it in front of a square root of 3 to get the long leg. And then if you know the short leg, your hypotenuse is going to be twice as long as whatever that short leg is. So this is the relationship that works out because of the Pythagorean theorem and some other tricky tricks that we use, but it's always going to be the same. Now, these are not in the order that I would have put them in, but I didn't make this handout. I'm going to go down and do this one first because it gives you the short leg. So my short leg is 7. So I think the easier one to do would be the hypotenuse. I'm just going to take that 7 times 2, which is 14. And then down here, this is your short leg, this is your long leg, and this is your hypotenuse. So having that kind of straight in your mind helps. So for the long leg, what am I going to have? 7 square root of 3. Good job. Sorry, put you guys on the spot. So that is how you find the other sides. And so if they give you just a nice whole number for the short leg, the rest of it is pretty easy. Also, we'll go down to this one. What side did they give me on this one? Hypotenuse. The hypotenuse. And notice they're not filling in all the angles. This is 90 and that's 30, which means this has to be 60. And so they may, and on this one, this is 30. They may not have all of it filled in, but they just hope that you know all the angles add up to 180. And then if you've got a 90 and a 30, you have to have a 60 as well. So if I know the hypotenuse is 20, what can I get really easily from that?
Short leg.
The short leg is going to be half. So I'm going to take 20 divided by 2, and which is 10. And then once I have the short leg, I can come down to the long leg and just slap it in front of a square root of 3. Like that. If you were in a situation where you wanted to know what that actually is, you could take 10 times the square root of 3 on your calculator, get a decimal, round it off. But for what we're doing right now, they don't really want anything rounded. Okay, so let's go back and do the other two. They're making them a little bit more interesting. So on this one, I've got 60 here, 90 here. That means this is my 30. And so this side is my short leg, this side is the long leg, and this side over here is my hypotenuse. So if I'm going from my short leg to the hypotenuse, I'm supposed to take it times 2. So I'm going to take that whole thing, 4 square root of 2, times a normal 2. So when you have that, the regular numbers multiply, and I get 8 square root of 2. You don't change what's in here. So basically, whole numbers times whole numbers, radicals times radicals is how you're going to do that. Okay, so this was, if I'm color coding, just times 2. If I have the short leg and I want to find the long leg, I have to take it times the square root of 3. So I'm going to have 4 square root of 2 times the square root of 3. So this is my short leg. And here I'm only going to multiply the radicals. So the 4 stays, 2 times 3 is 6. So a little bit of learning about the radicals too. But it's not that complicated, I don't think. Whole numbers times whole numbers, radicals times radicals. Okay, there's one more here at the bottom. Sorry we skipped around, but I wanted to kind of do them in the order of difficulty. So which side did they give us on this triangle? Long leg. So this is the long leg, this is my short leg, and then this down here is my hypotenuse. You always want to find the short leg first. Find short leg first. Exclamation point, bubble. However you want to put that in there, but It's really important that we do that first because then it'll be easier to go to the hypotenuse. So the long leg is usually the short leg times the square root of 3. So y times the square root of 3 is 12. So instead of multiplying, we're going backwards. You're going to end up dividing by the square root of 3. So I kind of made it equation-y, but you could just do the opposite and divide. Okay, so 12 over the square root of 3, they don't like that in the denominator. So they always multiply it like this for the answer key. Technically, this is the same number, not a big deal. We ended up with 12, I don't know why I just wrote a 1. So 12 radical 3 over 3, and then the 12 and 3 reduce, and you get 4 radical 3. So this is the answer key kind of answer, this right here. Multiple choice test kind of answer. So that is my short leg, which is what I've been highlighting on all of them. So now if I'm going from the short leg being 4 radical 3 to the hypotenuse, what do I multiply by? 2. So I'm going to take 2 times 4 radical 3. So that 4 radical 3 is my short leg. And what would I get? 8 radical 3. So I just multiply those whole numbers together, and the radical stays the same. Sorry, I kind of went off the screen. So there we are.